Hello, everyone. How are you? Anyone here? Basically waiting for everyone. Hmm. How are you doing? Everything going good? And have you been practicing the book by chance? I'm not sure if you've picked it up yet, but right now we're just waiting for folks. All right. Well, it's there. Working on the expanded second edition. But it's time, but we'll get to it. It's going to take some time. I actually made this first edition so people could have it while I make the big one. And by the time it's done, it's like you guys should be doing the first thing in there anyway. Do I run courses, workshops? I mean, I wish. The problem is people don't know what this is, and because they don't know what it is, they think that other stuff has more value, even though the other stuff doesn't necessarily actually even do anything. So they rather do breath work. which kind of recycles trauma. And when people re-experience it, it gets worse. So, I mean, yeah, I tried doing one once and like made a little bit of money, but like 7 or 8 people showed up and got sent out on the Conscious Left Expo mailing list. So, um, like 40,000 people got the email that was getting doing the event, and they would rather do a UFO talk or channeling or something like that. It's freaking lame. And this will catch on eventually. That's why I keep at it. Not as consistent as I usually am, but I will get back to that. Just had a lot of schoolwork trying to get through. I got to move back to the U.S. because this was only a study abroad program, and I have a few other surprises, so to speak, for everyone in the next year or so. Hi, Jimmy. How are you? I don't know. Maybe Jimmy can um, explain that psyche a little bit more better than I can, because I'm at a intersection where like the Fachi people could kind of understand what this is based on the language, but it doesn't look identical to the spectacle. Um, the New Age people like the idea of the aesthetic of the kami and sun goddesses and purification and bringing relaxation, but they don't like to be confronted with their own delusions. And the purification itself, once it gets a little deep, it starts scaring them away. A lot of um, people who do spells, like type of a light witchcraft, they don't want to hear anything outside of their worldview because they're quite fickle. I mean, they're doing spells to try to get people to do stuff and to gain material things. So they don't want to hear about anything that has to do with purification anyway. They think, oh, Christianity when they think that. So they stay away with it. People who do it really high level sorcery, they look in, but they don't realize how deep it goes for where they can start or where pulling stuff out, um, the extent of it. So they can often have an externalized view of their own energetic bodies. And when they have an internalized one and they start pulling things, they they um, they miss most of it. Just trying to think of some of the other categories. There's folks like the lady I had on, Angelina, the medium, who is actually clinical tested and passed for mediumship. I don't bring people on that show for like no reason. They have to prove themselves in some way, either to me or um, through community or lineage. They're in this 19th century Judeo-Christian current, and they get really bothered by design by the gatekeepers of that current, or they can. Some of them are more open than others. It depends on how their energetic bodies are constructed. Um, they're very, very closed minded, and they can often bring in their ideas through a Judeo Christian context, which is a real problem with for people with any type of ability, because a lot of archonic um, entities or influence hijack that and um, and disguise themselves as, or put on the facade that they're in communication with angels or Jesus or Palladians or ETs that are benevolent. And there's other entities at that game in that game too, which is why purification is so important. Because when you purify, not only does it clear your energy channel so nothing gets stuck or unable to move, um, it it unfilters your perception. So you are able to see some of these things, how they really are. And these things can also not influence or perpetuate delusion. So, yeah. So it's an undercurrent, like I said, and it should be ideally um, done before any, like, energy firing, um, um, fireball, burning paperwork. And the reason being is because instead of you, you know, potentially burning yourself out with that energy, or firing it out in a way that injures yourself, or using it as like a weapon, I guess, which it isn't really. And I'll get to that in a second. Um, um, you you let spirits ride that energy as an anchor to either you know get ahead, I should say, but also to heal more. um Unscrupulous people will use it to hurt people, but that's a whole other current, and it ends up hurting the person who's doing it. Doesn't necessarily mean the person doing it is a bad person either. There's different reasons for doing different things. However, um, you know, that's kind of how it works. Yes, because what happens when other people do magic against you or a spell is they send either energy if they're weaker, or an entity to stick into your energetic bodies and influence the things around you, and negative ways to varying strengths. It could use things like make you depressed, or want to jump off a bridge, or even harm somebody around you, or give you really bad luck, or I've seen people get really, really, really bad luck after some things, or make everyone just kind of stay away from you. Yeah, I've seen stuff where it makes people smell. Some people who do that stuff are quite, I don't want to call it gifted. I mean, it's kind of stupid to hold these grudges, to do really things. Um, yeah, but also too, I have a friend who, um, um, and it's hard to explain. She's a good person, absolutely. Like one time, somebody stole her purse and took off, and she knew it. And the guy, his hands started burning. They started burning and burning and burning, and they're burning so bad. He came out back to her house and knocked on the door and said, "Just take it," and brought it back. Because it also gave let him know the reason why his hands were burning, because he was a thief. And her kids were like kind of dumbstruck by that. And she says, "And that's how you get back your SHIT." So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to have her on, but she won't. She's a very private person. She actually, um, she actually started that company, um, where they make those hyper realistic masks, and a few people decided to buy them and rob a bank. Like that was her company. And she was telling me that for like several years, the FBI are actually tapping their phones and investigating them just because people bought the mask and used it. And just like, that has nothing to do with me. But she ended up selling it. But yeah, that's another with this practice. Although she was, and I know her because she, um, a little bit older. She's a little bit older than me, and she kind of developed it in a different way, although it's the same thing innately, without any real training other than what was around her in New Orleans. And she's able to do these things, and that can't be explained or necessarily prove it. Well, I mean, she can do some things, like, yeah, but anyway, um, yeah. Yeah, there is. It's to check your energy. It's to check your energetic bodies, and you do that through your body scan. And it takes time. There's other divination ways to do it too, but divination is takes time to be able to do it properly. And by the time you get good enough at tarot cards to actually be that good, where the spirits actually influence the cards and put them in the right place, you can develop your vision in the same way and just be able to see it. I am a strong proponent of that. It's like, why do the cards when you can just see the stuff? I know people are able to get information in better ways, but there's an idea of other people being better at some things than others, when it comes to like the fundamental basics of metaphysical ability, that and they do that because they don't purify. They have no concept of that. They'll do clearings, they'll burn some sage, and they'll think that's it, but it's not the same. And when you get to a certain point of the clearings, and we don't do it here because it would just scare people, it does this thing where um, your throat expands, and it's like there's something coming out, but nothing's coming comes out, and there might be like some very clear throw up or throw up with a little blood, but it's not real throw up. It's very hard to explain, but it's like when that happens, it's something that, and you spit it out basically. It's it's a part of you that's not really a part of you. It doesn't belong there, um, or it's blocking you from what you were meant to be because it feeds off of desperation or whatever other stuff it feeds off of. Um, yeah, but it's also where you get, and a good example of this too. Ken came on. Um, I mean, he's never been on my show, but he made a video about people still guarding secret mystery schools of Negong, and it's like it's a very very old way of thinking, and at the end of the day, it's meaningless because um, not everyone is going to practice to start. You never know who's going to finish. It takes discipline all the way around, and also too the guys involved in it have a big um, um, problem when it comes to being macho. They a lot of them picture themselves like they're Goku or Vegeta or Naruto, right? And from an anime, they think of themselves like that, and they fundamentally aren't that tough. They're not tough at all. None of them can fight. Um, the reason why a lot of this it's not taken seriously for the most part in martial arts is because there's guys that can actually do some of this stuff, and they tested it out on a natural trained athlete, and they just get rushed quick, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work. But the reason for that too is they don't do the underlining stuff. They don't learn how to become at least a semi-pro, elite as you can be athlete. And they don't train body movement or relaxation or how to train endurance and how to train strength and how to train flexibility. They go straight into learning how to try to shoot fireballs out of their hands. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work well without the other stuff. And I've been there. I have a professional record. Um, um, so I understand the body very well. And the energetic field of a natural athlete is different than someone who doesn't have anything like that. It's also why you see people who have a bunch of students in some of this stuff too become very susceptible to what their teacher's doing, or they're falling out or whatever. And that's because there's permissions And when people are someone's student and they agree to do this thing, um, they're going to be susceptible to it because they give permission into their field. And the teacher is in this place too, where it perpetuates this idea. And sometimes, or most often than not, they get this idea because they're not proven in, say, basic combat that it'll work on everyone. And when they're put to the test and they're confident enough, they almost always fail the test. So I hope that was at least somewhat educational for you guys. Do you have any questions? Yeah. What animal said? Yeah, and there's different energies. There's not just one. Um, anyway, so when we do this today, you will probably find that this one will have been or will be the strongest one we've ever done. Yes, it is, Lord Master. But I also take the time to practice. I maybe not practice so much anymore, but understand very, very well the Western schools of sorcery because they are very, very relevant. And but however, because they aren't spectacle orientated, people who practice um, a lot of stuff that is just dismisses it. So, but through my life, I've known people who could cause disaster like that. Like how surely I can do these clearings, they can do that. So some people decide to go that direction. Like, luckily, a lot of them, but not all, um, are more disciplined than most people. So they don't do it on a whim. Yeah, no, I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people who wreak havoc with magic because they can. Anyway, anyone else? Questions? Questions? Like I said, this one is going to be very, very strong because I like really. I've been working. I figured things out, and it's really gonna. It's this is like the beginning of the next step. Yeah, something I had trouble doing over a number of years, a couple, 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years. I was able to do in like 15, 20 minutes this morning or sooner. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys ready? And please donate after this. I'm a little short on cash this month. My bank card is not coming. My aid is held up again from the university. And anything you guys could do to help is much appreciated. $5, $10 goes a very long way here in Japan. It can be Lord Master, but it depends on your energetic bodies. It your time and place definitely have a bearing on um, how you develop spiritually, but it's not. It's mostly not what people think. It's not just like a straight. Um, it's never a straight astrological thing or aspect. And I was always very skeptical of astrology, even though I know very, very good astrologers, because it never made sense, and I didn't buy the idea that um, energy from the planets alone influences everything about a person. So I investigated, I learned more about it, saw some of it myself. Um, I have a very analytical mind. Like um, the idea of it, this or that is a gift from God, or my gift, or someone else's gift, or my gifts, and this is my gift, that is your gift. Um, why this person can do this and that person cannot was something that really struck me as an insufficient answer for any of this. And because of it, I really wanted to learn the mechanics of everything and start really breaking down why some of this stuff is and isn't, um, from a metaphysical standpoint. So, yeah. But if you seek that out, you'll learn. You'll be able to perceive, and you'll get the information that you want to get. Like, one of these things is, why are all these people channeling? Why are they doing all this UFO stuff when it's just talking? Are they just making it up, or is there something to it? I wanted to figure that out. It's like remote viewing. Why are people doing this, and why aren't they doing magic with the remote viewing? Which they can do without even realizing it. So, and when I say magic, I mean elemental magic. And why can't they differentiate stuff from the astral and stuff in physical reality? That's a big issue with astral travelers or remote viewers. They can't differentiate the difference. And the reason why they can't is because they don't think that these creatures in an unseen world can be a thing. Because it starts as purification and moves to healing. Right. So the reason why people get injury or sickness is because there's an aspect of their energetic body that is not purified. And because there's an aspect of their energetic body that's not purified, it causes sickness. Since people have a different structure within it, it can be more complicated um, from case to case before something is remedied. But for the most part, because it's physical, it's something usually quite shallow. But it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and I am under the opinion as of now that aging is a factor too, because mine is reversing, and from what I hear, yeah. So I think Donna said biologically I'm 4 years old. And Donna, who comes here, she's very talented in her own right. So, um, yeah, I was just never really satisfied with any of the answers. I found legitimacy in pretty much everything, whether it's witchcraft or Shaolin or Shinto or um, indigenous practice. There's something there. And whereas the Catholic Church may just say it's all the devil, um, you know, there's different intricacies in all of these things, but are that are also similar too. But at the same time, um, everything's different. It's never the same thing. And I could say it's almost never the devil. Less than 1 point something percent, 0.1%. And that's usually because a person did something. So, well, it's elemental magic. It's just brought forth more into the physical world, whether it's heat or wind or lightning. Yeah. I actually need to, I actually, like I keep saying, I need to do um, an initiation into um, Fa Chi so they could pick up that energy too. But I have this underlay of it as a strong foundation, so it'll develop really, really quickly without any effort. That's the next step, but I need to do it soon. I have to do it soon, and there's some reasons for that. So if any of you guys have any suggestions or um, yeah, let me know. And I because I'm not quite sure who to go to or who I want to do it. So let me know, guys. All right, you guys ready for the healing or the clearing? We better start now because I have a thing coming up pretty quickly. Well, it's all mental, but it's psychic energy. You create it. But anyway, let me know, Cameron. Let me know and write me. Someone will sponsor me for it. Um, once I have that, it'll go out to everyone, and yeah. So please, like this gatekeeping stuff, it'll be done. Now this stuff was meant for everyone. It wasn't meant to just sit behind a gate and be like this is our tradition. I'm gonna make money from it. Like the spirits have no interest in that. Don't tell any of the people. Well, and here's the thing too, like the people that initiate me when we do it, it's very likely that they won't believe that I'm doing this or I can do it. So it doesn't matter anyway. They'll be like, yeah, sure, guy. Would you say? Would you say that's accurate, Matt? Accurate, accurate. We're gonna start. It depends who they are. Some of them can. Yep. Anyway, you guys ready? Here we go. Like I said, check this out. Amaterasu mi oya no kami no misu maru no inochi teirashi kuni shizuka nari amaterasu mi oya no kami no misu maru no inochi teirashi kuni shizuka nari amaterasu mi oya no kami no misu maru no inochi teirashi kuni shizuka nari taka amahari ni kamazumarimasu kamuro mi no mikoto moshite sumemi oyakama izanagi no kami tsukushi no himaku no tachibana no odo no aogigahara ni misoki harai tamaishi toki ni aremaseru harai do no o kami tachi moromoro no maga to tsumi kairi yo harai tamai kiyomita mai to mausu koto no yoshi yo amatsukami kunitsukami yao yoruzu no kami tachi tomo ni hikoshimasu to kashikomi mo mausu taka amahari ni kamazumarimasu kamaroki kamaromi no mikoto moshite sumemi oyakama izanagi no kami tsukushi no himaku no tachibana no odo no aogigahara ni misoki harai tamaishi toki ni aremaseru harai do no o kami tachi moromoro no maga to tsumi kairi yo harai tamai kiyome tamai to mausu koto ni yoshi yo amatsukami kunitsukami yao yoruzu no kami tachi tomo ni hikoshimasu to kashikomi mo mausu doso no kami amaterashi sumemi kami no mimuni o tsudaite oshie michibiki no tamawaku hito wa sunowachi kami to no moto no arejidari 何時らの紳士の痛ましむることなかれ。この故に目にもろもろの風情を見て、心にもろもろの風情を見せ、耳にもろもろの風情を聞いて、心にもろもろの風情を聞かず、口にもろもろの風情を言って、心にもろもろの風情を言わず、身にもろもろの風情に触れて、心にもろもろの風情に触れず、心にもろもろの風情を思とも、中心にもろもろの風情を思わず、この時に清く潔きことあり、もろもろのノリは影と形のことし、清く清ければ汚れることなし、ことをとらばうべからず、皆花よりずの実とはなる。我が身はすなわち六根少女なり、六根少女なるがゆえに、ごぞの真君兄なり、ごぞの真君兄なるが、ゆえに天地の神と男なり、天地の神と男なるが、ゆえに万物の霊と体なり、万物の霊と体なるが、ゆえになすところにこて成就せずということなし、無常霊法、真珠仏教、天上無休、名運二章、神が律、払いたまい、清めたまい、守りたまい、先はいたまい、照らしたまい、導きたまえ。Breathe, relax, と神、えみたも、看言心、損にかだけん、払いたまい、清めたも。高めの晴れにかむずまります。すめ神たち、いやわらしたも、特殊の水の宝持ちて、あまてる国てるひけあめのほあかり、くしたま、にぎはやひのみことに、続けたもことを教えてのたまわけ、今しこの水の宝持ちて、中つくににあま下り、あう人ぐさ沈め収めよ。あう人ぐさおよび、よりずのものの病のことあらば、かむ宝持ちて、 見下った沈めに起きて、御霊沈めの祭りをなして水の宝を降るべ、そのカムホギの言葉に曰く、火のい木のと、火のい火のと、土のい土のと、かのいかのと、水のい水のと、ひふみよいむなやこと。二のとふるべゆらゆら、かく祈りせばまかるともさらに避難としても。雨の神の身をやみこと乗りかけてまいて、雨の岩、船に乗りて、河内の国の川上の光る神に天下りましまして、大和の国、引きの山のふもと、白庭の竹庭に移しましまして、月祭りとも名付けて、イエスの神の狼ともしたて祭り。よよ神宝を持ちて、よりずの者のために、古べの玉ごと持ちて、探さなしたゆえの古の御霊の神と、敬い立て祭り。すめみことおもらじ、おとろその神たけきを持ちて、いつきに使い祭りとも、物のびの神の社、雨がした、よりずの者のたごいなり、いてんもと神宝は、いわゆる、おきつ鏡、えつ鏡、やつくの剣、いく玉、たる玉、まかるが石の玉、ちが石の玉、おろちのひれ、はちのひれ、くすぐすのもののひれ、さらにとくすの神、木のい木のと、火のい火のと、土のい土のと、かのいかのと、水のい水のと、ひふみよ、いむなやこと。二のと古べゆらとゆら、かしたて祭りことのよしを持ちて、平結局きこしめせと、命長く、子孫羽、時はかきわに、守りたまい、先はいたまい、かじたて祭り、人生寿命新力かじ、たがあまはりにかむずまります。かむろき、かむろみのみこともして、すめみおやかむ、いずなぎの神つくしのひまかの立花のおどの青木がはるに、みそき、はらい、たまいし、ときにあれませる。はらいどのお神たち、もろもろのまがごと罪がえりよ。払いたまい、清めたまいと申すことのよしを、あまつ神、国つ神、や、よりずの神たちともにひこしめせと、かしこみ、かしこみ、もまおす。たがあまはりにかむずまります。かむろき、かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、おやかむ、いざなぎのおかみ、つくしの、ひまかの、立花の、おどの、青木がはれに、みそぎ、払い、たまいし、時に、あれませる。払いどの、お神たち、もろもろのまがごと罪がいるよ。払いたまい、清めたまいと申すことによしよ。あまつ神、国つ神、や、よるずの神たちともに引っ越しますと。かしこみ、かしこみ、もまおす。たかあまはりにかむずまります。かむろき、かむろみのみこともして、すめみ、おやかむ、いざなぎのかみつくしの、ひまかの、立花の、おどの、 Agi ga hara ni Misogi harai tamaishi toki ni aremaseru. Harai dono o kami tachi. Moro moro no maga goto tsumi kaeru. Harai tamai kiyometa mai to mausu koto ni yoshi o. Amatsu kami, kunitsu kami, ya yarezu no kami tachi tomo ni hikoshi mesato. Kashikomi kashikomi mo mausu. Ka nagara tamachiyamase. Ka nagara tamachiyamase. Ka nagara tamachiyamase. All right. How was it, everyone? Okay, well, there you go. Let me see, Lord Master. Tokami, Amy Tamo, Kangonshin, Soni Kandaken, Harai Tamai Kiyame Tamo. Something needs to be removed. Like, this isn't just like something that like some people have and others, everyone has stuff. And there's just nothing in the popular conscious that describes it as a thing. So no one's thinking about it or looking for it. To kami emi tamo kangonshin soni kandaken harai tamai kiyami tamo. How's that? Let me know, guys, because I gotta get going. Good, good. So ideally, with this practice, you wanna find where that nauseousness is coming from through examining your own energetic body and body and starting to work to remove it. Ah, interesting. But anyway, yeah, stronger guys. This is the beginning, I think. So yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Good. Well, I mean, not something you wanted that. I mean, but did you maybe perhaps you needed it? I mean, we are developing. You should be able to do that at will eventually, Mac. So, um, yeah, like from a meditation, ideally, you should be able to do that um, through meditation very quickly and control it to go to where you want to go. That is, and but also have where you want to go mapped out already to get an idea of where things are, how they behave, and what everything is. Um, but yeah, you'll find once you have that calculated and put together in a clear way, you'll naturally, the kami will help you get to that point in a very, very quick manner. Anyway, we'll get it. So, but anyway, cool. I gotta get going, guys. Thank you so much. I did a long talk today. If you're just coming in and you haven't heard it, please do. Guys, please donate. Um, like I said, this is getting stronger. I'd like to get back to doing this every day. John Parkins, thank you. I did get what you sent. Like, that guy's been helping me so much. He actually, John, actually came here through a Gnostic study and tradition. Pretty interesting, right? And this has really helped him take the next steps, and he's really been um, very he's been very he's shown a lot of gratitude, and I'm very, very thankful for that. um, he's I know people are doing different or well off, more well off than others, so I don't hold anyone to that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to let him know, since I'm here on this video, and he'll watch it to the end and do the healing, that I really appreciate it. And yeah, Fachi, Mac, you have my email or Discord, right? Can you send me the information that we talked about for the Fachi transmission and get me in contact, and perhaps we'll work it out so we can get that going, and I can, you know, I can bring it all to you guys. Sound good? All right, thank you. So I'll see you guys later. I'll be on tomorrow.